everyone, and welcome back. Thank you so much for waking up with me on Up with India. Today, I will be joined by Skylar Knox, founder of the nonprofit organization B.E.S.T Cancer Awareness, which stands for Brady Early Screen Teens, which began during her reign as Miss Delaware's Outstanding Teen and a contestant for Miss Teen Delaware USA. Skylar was also named Miss Newark Teen in 2018. And so she's here with me on the show today to talk about the purpose of the organization and why she encourages young teens to pay attention to their bodies, not just during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but throughout the year. I am looking forward to bringing her on the show. Thank you so much, Sky, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So how are you? Talk to me about how things are and where you are.
Yes, I am well. All things considered, everything is going great on my end. I am a senior in high school this year. Yeah, exciting, starting off remote, literally in the heart of the college process, and everything is going great.
What has that transition been like from being an 11th grader to now a senior, but the pandemic has completely changed your world. So what has that transition been like for you?
For me personally, it's been pretty smooth. I'm honestly like amazed by the technology that we have that gives us the opportunity to continue
Mm,
to learn amidst the pandemic.
yeah.
I'm also a competitive gymnast, so I'm in the college recruiting process for
Wow.
athletics. So that has been the most drastic change in between my junior and senior year.
Wow, a gymnast. Talk to me about how you
Yes.
got into doing that.
So I started off as a full-time ballerina, and anyone who knows me knows my personality is really bright and bubbly and outgoing.
Oh,
So I begged my mom, and I have a lot of energy. So I begged my mom to put me in a gymnastics class, and
mhm,
she did.
mhm.
And ever since then, I fell in love with the sport. I started competing, and now I'm like looking to do collegiate gymnastics.
That's amazing. What are some of the colleges that you are looking at right now?
Yes, so short list, University of Pennsylvania,
Let's see here.
Temple University,
Mhm.
Ursinus, North Carolina State, that's just to name a few.
And what would be your major when you go to one of these universities?
Yes, so my passion is in social impact. So I want to major in both history as well as communication in order to pursue that in law.
You know, it's with no surprise that you would want your major to be in social impact work, considering the background that you have coming from the pageant world, first of all, and the community service that is
Yeah.
involved with that. Talk to me about how you were able to find the first pageant that you competed in, and what was the process preparing for that journey.
Yes, so my mom was actually Miss Delaware's national teenager when she was a teen,
Mhm.
and my older sister competed in the Miss America organization as well. So hearing their stories and also watching my sister, I wanted to try it as well.
Mhm.
And I've been so used to being gymnastics tough and always being in athletic mode that when I told my family that I wanted to do pageants, my brother thought it was hysterical. Um, and that made me want to do it more. So
Right.
yeah, so I entered into a local pageant, the Miss Hockessin
Uh-huh.
pageant, and I won that, and it's been great ever since. And I reigned 2018 as Miss Stellar's Outstanding Teen.
That is amazing. And so you are from
Greenville, Delaware.
Greenville,
Yeah,
Delaware. And so that's where
Greenville.
you grew up. That's your stomping ground. What was life like for you growing up? And hearing things like you were part of gymnastics, and then you were encouraged to do pageantry and all of this stuff. What is the lineage that you come from? The people who have raised you to be so motivated, I guess, could be the word to describe that.
I think a lot of my passion comes from actually my dad, who is a pastor. He's the pastor of Covenant Heritage Bible Church, and it is located in Kingswood Community Center. And
Mm.
just being a pastor's daughter, I've always learned the importance of giving back to your community, being community oriented, as well as finding a cause and making that change and following your calling. So I think it really came from that and seeing the way that the ministry impacted that community made me want to do it as well. And even in a small state like Delaware, it went a long way.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure growing up in the church, giving back to your community in that way, it transcended into, again, with you running for a title. When you ran, what was your platform? And then how were you active in the community through that title?
Yes, my platform was B.E.S.T Cancer Awareness, again, Brave Early Screening Teens. And I founded the platform actually in honor of my aunt and my great grandmother that passed away from breast cancer. And they both were on different sides of my family. So as a teen, I was a little uncomfortable and I was like, oh my goodness, what should I do? So I started to do my research and learn about the importance of early detection. Knowing your body, self examinations, healthy eating habits, regular exercise. So I built a platform for that. And Miss Delaware's Outstanding Teen, as well as the Miss America's Outstanding Teen stage, gave me the platform to really share that locally, statewide, as well as nationally.
To be a teenager and stand on a platform that powerful, it
Mhm.
makes me think that the impact of your aunt's and your grandmother's death was heavy on you, was it?
Yeah, absolutely. I was very close to my aunt. She actually died at 39 years old, so it's very, very young. And Black women under the age of 40 are more susceptible to this disease, as well as its fatality, which is a really sad statistic compared to other minority groups and white women as well. I have her personality, so everyone says that I carry on her legacy just as being myself as a human being. So I've heard saying that like people die physically, but you want to keep saying their names and keep their legacy moving on. And that's what I took to heart and ran with it.
Before she passed, was there any signs that she detected early on that kind of hinted toward that she may have been dealing with this disease? And is that something that you have now carried on into your program and organization that you tell other young women to look out for?
Yes. So when she was battling breast cancer, she didn't show it, meaning her personality stayed happy and bubbly, um, literally a ray of sunshine. So while she was battling through it, I didn't know how bad it was. Afterwards, after she did pass away, in conversation with my grandmother, I learned that she didn't have the best eating habits and the best, like, she didn't exercise regularly and she didn't find like yearly checkups as significant as they really were. So hearing those things like that, that's why I crafted best because I want teens to start doing those things, boys and girls, now so that they have, you know, that exercise, they have the eating habits so that if they are diagnosed, it's early detection as well as they know their bodies and they know what feels right and feels normal and what is off.
That's very interesting that you say boys as well. While I know that yes, men are affected by cancer, breast cancer, even most people don't know that. What is the
Mhm.
message that you send to young men? I know particularly the focus would be young women, considering you're a woman, a young woman. But when it comes to young men, how do you educate them as well to take this as serious as it is?
Yes. And when I tell you this disease, it's in my family. Um, it's really in my family. My great uncle had breast cancer, and he's a survivor from it. Um, but it's with men. The reason why, when a man is diagnosed with breast cancer, it can become more fatal is because it's caught at a later stage, meaning that doctors don't right away look for breast cancer in a man. So the same things that I'm telling young women, I'm telling men, meaning know your body, self examinations. That's honestly the best way to go about it in order to have an early detection diagnosis. You know what I mean?
Did your mom have those conversations with you growing up as a young woman? And I don't mean to get too deep and personal into your life, but I find it to be, I'm very inquisitive about that because I wonder if there is a certain age that parents should be having this conversation with their kids.
Yes. So my mom has always told us that our bodies are a temple and it's important for us to protect them. And we've also had an open dialect. If anything is wrong at all, even if you think it's nothing, go get it checked out, you know? And my mom, she was doing a self-examination one day and she found something irregular and she right away went to get it checked out. Sadly, it is grade 3 breast cancer that she has now.
I'm so
Um, yeah, absolutely. Keep her in your prayers.
okay.
She goes into surgery November 10th.
Oh, wow.
But because of that and the fact that it was early detection and the fact that she's kept that line of communication between me and my sisters as well as my brother, that's why we are where we are today.
How do you keep going, Sky? I mean, in the midst of what could be seen as tragedy for some people, your aunt, your grandmother, your mother, how do you deal with all of that as a young woman? You know, still trying to find the silver lining in all of this. How do you do that?
Yeah, so I'm a musician. I'm a singer-songwriter. I play piano as well as the violin, and I compose. So that is truly, truly my outlet. And I write whatever I'm feeling at that moment. Like sometimes I'm sleeping and I hear a hook. It's hilarious, and I'll literally get up and write it down. But music has always been my outlet, and that's how I'm able to uniquely communicate those things.
hmm You know, one of the things that you have done during this time has been ways to creatively still push and tell this story in the midst of an ongoing pandemic. And
Mhm.
whereas people are, again, they're already suffering from predisposed ailments and issues such as breast cancer, now on top of that, you have a pandemic.
Yeah.
How have you kind of brought those two worlds together to be able to spread awareness about, both the importance and the fact of breast cancer, but also COVID-19 and the virus and how that could make something like breast cancer even worse?
Mhm. B.E.S.T is universal with all diseases and viruses. And again, with what my dad taught me, finding a cause and making that change. So my heart is with teenagers, of course. So I actually joined an organization called Teen Warehouse in
hmm
Wilmington, Delaware, and it's for teens by teens. It's amazing. And with them, I was able to create a virtual program, meaning that all teens in Delaware and that surrounding area will have access to this program. And I made the pillars of it talk, create, screen, and inspire. Meaning, whatever you're feeling, because the depression rates have tremendously increased with quarantine and in this pandemic. So, whatever you're feeling, find somebody to talk to because they care. And create, find your outlet. It doesn't have to be music like mine, but it can be painting, drawing, whatever. Um, Screen, that's back to the physical aspect, eating healthy, exercise, knowing your body, knowing your history, self-examinations, and then as well as inspire, which is my favorite, is take the knowledge that you have and give it to another peer so that they can do the same.
Something you brought up, Sky, was that point of depression and people going through depression at this time. Have you ever dealt with something like that?
Absolutely. I have, and I'm very candid with my situation and the fact that I do go and see a therapist. Um, and I'm also doing a study in psychology now talking about the stigma circling mental health in the Black community. And sometimes that comes from the resources that we have and the bond, the trust bond that is in between two people that look alike. You know what I mean? And my therapist is a Black woman, and I am so comfortable with speaking with her. However, 4% of therapists in this entire nation are Black, and that does not reciprocate the Black community at all in America. So, what I do is I want to bring that to the warehouse again. And what they did is they established a partnership with Delaware State University that send fellows to the warehouse so that teens in that area have access to therapists and counselors that look like them, that they can have that already trust bond that we have as a race.
When would you say that the depression for you started? Was it in the midst of your aunt and getting breast cancer? When did that start for you?
Yeah, so witnessing and experiencing deaths of loved ones, yes, my depression did rise, but honestly, that was mild compared to 2 years ago when I was sexually violated by a teacher at my old school. And that's when I started to see a therapist one on one in order to work me out of that hard place that I was in. And that's where songwriting really developed and composing really developed. And I'm happy to say I feel like I'm on the other side of it now. I know I'm never going to be back to the way I was before, but I'm a stronger woman now because of that. And I'm able to instill in young women what the signs are and just be comfortable with saying no at times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Thank you for being willing to share that, because I'm sure there are so many young people that will watch this
Hmm.
and finally feel like they're not alone.
And that's what I feel my calling is. Absolutely.
And I feel like that's within a lot of what you do,
Hmm.
not just within that unfortunate, terrible experience that happened to you, uh, but even through you being vocal about your family and what they've been dealing with breast cancer, and just always being present to be a voice.
Hmm.
That is amazing.
Thank you.
Are you proud of yourself? Like, do you honestly feel proud of yourself?
I've never actually taken a step back and asked if I feel proud of myself. And um, I feel like I am so caught up in impacting others um, that I forget about, the good feeling inside. And it does make me feel good. And I say that my mission is if I impact the life of one teen and I save the life of one teen, I did my job, you know, and I fulfilled my calling.
Well, if you won't say it to yourself, I will say it to you. I am proud of you. I am proud of
Thank
you
you.
for the work that you're doing, Sky. It to you, it may seem um, like this is just what it comes with. I'm just gonna do this. I'm just gonna get it done. I'm very much the same type of person, but my publicist and people around me always make me stop and realize how far I've actually come. And so when you look at how far you've actually come, what what does that mean to you? What does that feel like? Just looking over being able to overcome again that traumatic experience you experienced 2 years ago and all of these different things. What does it feel like to know you're no longer in that space, but you're here today doing this work?
Hmm. Looking back, I just realized that everything good and also everything bad was for a reason. And it brought me to where I am today. And then years later, when I look back, everything good and everything bad will happen for a reason and it'll bring me to where I am there. And that's just the way I look at things.
What do you say to Sky from 2 years ago, with the level of confidence, knowledge, and healing that you have now, that would help her rise up and
Hmm.
get out of that dark space that she was in?
Get up, girl, keep going. As well as what my mom has said to me every day, and that's be beautiful, spelled BEYOUTIFUL. And that is just be your true, authentic self, and everything will happen from there.
Mhm. Watching your mom go through the experience that she's going through, in what ways have you had to be there for her? Is your life a little bit more? Uh, do you have to do a little bit more around the house now? Like, how has your life changed with this sudden life change for her?
My siblings have been amazing. So I have two sisters and a brother, and I'm the second oldest. And together we work as a team to kind of keep everything smooth sailing. And God knew what He was doing when we were remote schools. So the fact that we're here and around the house with her, and she doesn't have to be alone during the day. And my dad is here as well. And we're able to go to doctor's appointments with her and hold her hand and tell her that everything is going to be okay. That's what we, and also cracking jokes from time to time. It's good to laugh. Laughter doeth good as medicine. That's what I feel like I've been doing around.
Yes, laughter is the best medicine. I
Yeah.
completely agree with that. It can brighten any room in any space. Sometimes you
Yeah.
just need a good laugh. Sky, what is next for the BEST program? Well, first, before we even get to what's next, what are some things that you've been able to accomplish thus far with it? And then let's get into what is next.
Absolutely. So I've raised over $10,000 towards research as well as organizations including Susan G. Komen and Unite for Her. I've developed fundraisers in partnership with the Delaware Breast Cancer Coalition. I created a pledge, and teens will sign that pledge. And basically, they are pledging to a life of healthy screening, mentally and physically. I shot a PSA, which was super fun. As well as I've competed in gymnastics competitions that do the same, bring awareness to
Mm.
breast cancer. And that is the Pink Invitational as well as Robin Cone Invitational. Next, I am in preparation to do my first TED Talk.
Oh my goodness, a TED Talk. Wait, first
Yeah.
of all, how do you find the time to get all of these things done? You're in school, you're gymnastics, you're running a nonprofit organization, you're taking care of mommy. How are you making all of this happen? What are your time management skills look like for real?
I like writing everything down. So I keep an agenda, and that helps me literally get through my day because I'm able to check off
Nice.
everything that I've done and circle everything that I haven't and highlight this. Um, of course, there's not enough time in the day, but I managed to make it work by the grace
Mhm.
of God. So yeah, time management has and organization has really kept me, honed in on my schedule.
And so now you're getting ready to do this TED Talk. And so, what is the focus of the talk? I could guess it, but I want you to tell me. What's the focus of the TED Talk, and where will this be?
So it'd be like TEDx Wilmington. And it is how to live your best life. Hashtag
Ooh.
teens.
I like that play on words. Oh
Yeah.
my goodness. And so with TED Talks, the purpose of it is to do social impact, is to bring awareness to certain issues through the talk. How have you been preparing for this? I know that there's certain components that go along with getting ready for the TED Talk. What are some things that you're preparing?
Absolutely. I'm looking to hone in on the pillars of my organization best, talk, create, screen and inspire, and really go in depth of what those really mean, and how that is impacted in the life of a teenager, um, as well as bringing in aspects of mental health, as well as physical health.
hmm You talk about the teen warehouse and that being a place that you have utilized to express yourself, to hone in on your creativity and your professionalism. But who are some other mentors in your life that have really helped Sky become who she is today?
Yeah, so my mentor, my academic mentor, Janae Dupree, she is amazing and she helps me everything school. Um, I have a mentor that helps me with like my social services as well as community service. Her name is Joyce Proctor. And then my music mentor is Cheryl Wilmore. That is helping me actually in the studio with my personal project. So that'll be coming soon as well. Yeah.
All right now. So you're in the studio, so we can expect what? An album, an EP? What's coming next?
We'll start with the single, it'll draft into an EP, and then we will drop an album.
Okay, that's
Yes.
fair. That's fair. I like that. Oh my goodness. It's so much going on for you. Do you ever start to feel overwhelmed because of the many tasks that you have in your life?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Being overwhelmed that's regular.
The most memorable moment in the how old are you now? You are what?
I'm 18 years old.
18 years old. So in the 18 years of living on this earth, what has been the most memorable moment? And I want you to consider all things, the organization you've started, the different, groups that you've joined, all different things. What has been the most memorable?
Um, I would definitely say my debut into the music world. It was the first time I sang in church. I sang Christmas Shoes. It's a really sad Christmas song, but it's beautiful. It really is, but it's
I'm
beautiful.
sure
And
you
I
did a
just
good
remember,
job.
yeah, and I just remember the feeling of having the microphone in my hand and standing up in front of people. And I was like, you know what? I could get used to this. So
Mhm.
it's been an
Mhm.
uphill scale from there.
If I asked you to give us a little tune, would you?
A tune.
Just a little something. Let us get a little feel for your voice.
Sure. Um, I'll sing like a line from one of my originals. So it's called Kingdom Kid. All right. Basically it goes, put your crown of confidence on. It's a ring that lasts a lifetime long. Can't nobody decrown this side of you. Put your crown on, Kingdom Kid. Oh, put your crown on, Kingdom Kid.
Oh, that's beautiful. That is so beautiful, Sky. And I'm not just saying
Thank
that. I
you.
hear the melody, I hear the tonation, I hear it. It is
All of it.
all of it. Oh my goodness. So what was the inspiration behind that song? Put your crown on and those words. What do they mean?
So there's a line in it, in the first verse, and it says, "Don't look down because your crown slips." And to me, that meant confidence. Stay confident in who you are, and that goes back to what I was saying with be beautiful and be your true, authentic self. Don't compare yourself. Don't try to be anyone else. And also the fact that God created you for a special purpose, not for somebody else's purpose, but for your individual purpose. So keep your crown on because you are royalty.
Mhm. And usually I ask people, what is the message that you want to send to someone who is battling? Maybe it is breast cancer, or maybe it is something mental, or they're going through something. But I think that description of that song is a perfect way to encourage people out there. Sky, as far as where you see yourself in the next couple years, wearing your crown as bravely and as proudly as you do. Uh, what is next in those next 5 years? What does that look like for you?
So short term, of course, dropping my project that I'm working on, going to college, starting that next chapter of my life. But long term, it's just living a life that shatters ceilings. And my passion is being a voice to those who feel marginalized and those that are unheard, and whatever political influence that I'm able to impact through that.
Do you have any fears of college? Is there anything that you're concerned of that you're worried about right now when it comes to college?
You know, so early decision, of course, is around the corner, November 1st,
Uh-huh.
and everyone gets really caught up on if it's a yes or a no from that school. And you are destined to be exactly where you're placed, so everything will pan out the way it's supposed to. So nerves, yes, but worry, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to close this out, I want to have a memorable moment that possibly your mom can remember. And so with her dealing and going through this time of healing, hopefully trying to heal through all of this. What is
Mhm.
the message that you would send her or want her to know after she comes through that therapy on the other side that she can always remember, Sky?
That she's a fighter. At times she gives her life so much to us, her children, that sometimes can forget about herself, and her own health. And that I want her to know that all of that energy that she's put into us, we are going to turn around, and we have turned around, and we are doing the same for her. And that her strength and her courage and her character build is motivating for me. It's inspirational for me, the same for all of my siblings. And we're fighting alongside her.
Mhm. Well, thank you so much, Sky, for coming on the show. Thank you for imparting us
Thank
with
you.
such a beautiful message and a voice that I wasn't expecting today, but I'm glad I got. And I definitely will keep your mom in my thoughts and in my prayers, and I wish her nothing but the best, and as well as you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
And thank you to all of you for watching. For more news, updates, and information, you can always check back in here on Up with India at WITN 22 Wilm.